Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, oh, my, oh, yeah, my, yeah, 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 oh, yeah, oh. Burn that.
So this is a neighbor of mine, Fred. He's been, he lives adjacent to me. How long you been here?
2 months.
A couple months.
Yeah.
And he was told when he moved in some weird things might start happening, and sure enough, so he's been willing to come on here and basically, support what I've been sharing about activity at home. So some of the first things that happened, because he's had quite a few experiences here. So
Yes, a few. The first experience I had, I was out late one night about 2 o'clock in the morning, just out on the veranda up there. And I could hear something walking up the driveway. And I never paid much mind to it at first, right? And it sounded like it came up like a quarter way up the driveway. And then maybe 5-10 minutes later, it sounded like it came up halfway up the driveway. And then the third time, it came all the way to the top of the driveway. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I got scared, so I went in the house. I came back out again later to maybe sit for half an hour at the most, and all of a sudden I heard a high-pitched whistle with a low-pitched whistle. So I thought that was kind of odd too. Now I stayed out at that point. Because,
what time was this roughly?
I would say that time it would have probably been closer to between 3 and 3:30, because like I say, that kind of
AM.
Yeah, AM in the morning. Yeah, it scared me because, like I say, where I come from, it would have been considered a ghost, right? Is what I first mind come to mind. But it was no doubt in my mind, it was footprints coming up, like sounds of somebody walking up the driveway. And it was 3 times in a row, and each time it got closer to me. It got as far as, like I say, right in front of your place. And that's when I thought, yeah, that's not right. So I went back into the house, right? Because, like I say, I'm new. Right, I've had a couple of experiences in the past, right, and I'm sure of it. That's what I heard was a Sasquatch, and so that I wasn't too sure of, And then the next time around, I was sitting out there around the same time in the morning, because that's when I like to come up just to listen to the woods and see what's happening and that. And I was sitting there, and it sounded like somebody was running up and down along the neighbor's fence line. Like somebody was rooting around or being mischievous around the place, right? And there's nobody out here, just the neighbors and everybody, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I heard what sounded like somebody picking up a piece of steel and dropping it down by our containers out front here. So I never thought too much of it. It scared me. And again, I kind of went in the house for a little while and then come back out and never really heard nothing after that. But when I come the next morning, I just kill my curiosity. I thought, I'm going to go down and have a look just to see. And I went down and I looked, and sure enough, is there not a metal pipe down there that somebody would have had to have picked up? And nobody's going to be doing that at 2:30 in the morning or 3:30 in the morning around here.
No, it's
like,
quiet.
I've been
It's
here
quiet
long
around.
enough. Yeah, there's nobody around here doing that kind of stuff, right? So I've heard nothing. Like late at night here, as far as people go, nothing, right? So I thought that was kind of strange myself, right?
Sorry to interject
No, you interrupt,
just
no
for a sec too. I just to make sure, 'cause you haven't said anything yet, but I just make sure I keep names out of this. And
Yeah, no worries.
I have enough problems with people.
Yeah, well, no, but that's why I
all
offered
good.
to come on, Mike, right,
Yeah.
and do an interview for you, because since I've been here, I've had at least a half a dozen strange experiences. And yeah, there's something to what Mike's saying. There's something around here for sure running around late at night, because I hear it. I've heard wood knocks. right? My last experience there, I heard wood knocks. I know I heard somebody run this way out of the woods down past my window, and then a few seconds, you know, a minute maybe even, we'll say, not quite that long, but you know what I mean, a few seconds, and then all of a sudden, thump, 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 right back up, and it was big. It wasn't it wasn't a human being. There's no way that was a man. It was a bear or it was Sasquatch, and it wasn't no bear because they don't walk on 2 feet. So that experience kind of scared the crap out of me too.
And that was the same night as the wood knock.
And I heard them off over here, in behind me here, and I know because it was a, and then little bit went by, and then, right, and then, like I say again, a little bit of time went by, and all of a sudden I heard a third one, and I thought that was strange, and that was after I heard the footprints run, like the person run by my window, and nobody's here's that big enough to sound like that running by the window at night.
And
right?
this has all been going on basically in the middle of the night.
Yes, it tends to happen anywhere between, I would say, midnight and 4 in the morning is when my experiences are, and that's the only reason I find it odd to be hearing birds, because I've heard them over here a couple mornings as well, like early morning, 3 o'clock, 3:30. Like I know there's a twilight hour, but that's strange to me. I've never heard that. You usually don't hear a bird in the same type of whistle, high pitch and a low pitch, but only once, same as out front. So I don't know. And then me and Armando, I shouldn't have said my neighbor's name, but
It's okay, it's okay.
I apologize, but me and the fella I live with were sitting out here about 3 nights ago, and I heard something clicking rocks or something together. Yeah, and I never said nothing to my neighbor. I heard it again, so I said to him, "Did you hear that?" And he looked back at me and he said, "I heard that the first time." He said, "I just wasn't sure if I was hearing things." Then we heard it a third time, and all 3 were out front by them containers. And then within seconds, split seconds, it was over by that shack that's right there. And he heard the same thing once more, and then nothing. And it intrigued my roommate as well. Like, he was shocked to hear that, right? So, and he was glad that there was actually somebody there, just like I was, to experience the same thing, hear it at least. So there's validity to that, you know, that 2 people heard the exact same things. But there's more nights often than not that it sounds like a prowler, for lack of a better term. You know what I'm saying? Somebody prowling around the property, sneaking around, right? One night as well, I heard somebody sounded like they were trying to get into this man's shed next door right here. You could hear on the door, you could hear him pulling it. Not too hard or nothing, but enough that he was going bang, 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 bang. And he's not out there at 3 in the morning. I've never seen him out there at 3 in the morning, right? Like, so, but I figured I'd come on, Mike, just for that reason, because like I'm 100% sure you're correct. There's somebody around, like Sasquatch following you, like you say, but honestly, Mike, there's something weird going on around here.
And I think it's a young male.
I think so too. I think it's young because I saw shadows, I swear, but you know, it's
Oh yeah, the
right,
shadows.
it's late, but I saw shadows like twice one way and then once coming back, right? So, and it wasn't huge, it was big, of course, but you know what I mean? It would have been more of what you would think would be like a teenager or something. My dog won't come out here in the woods at night. When she first come here, she would, up until I started having experiences, and now she won't. She'll only come as far as there. If I walk in with her, she'll stop here, Mike, every time. She won't go into them woods at night, right? So, and I got to be right where the camera is with her in order. So that's an odd thing for my dog too, because she's not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I notice she looks up here a lot in the back, right, late at nights when I bring her out here. So, I don't know. I just get this weird vibe a lot of times that something's watching me out here. And I'm not one to fall into that kind of stuff usually, right? Like, I believe in a lot of things, but no, there's definitely something going on around here with experiences. Like, I've heard some strange things. Like I say, where I was born and raised, you would tend to think ghosts, right? Because that's what you think. But then there's the running of something by the window and picking up the pipe and things like that, ain't necessarily go with the ghost theory, right? So, but honestly, Mike, I do agree. You definitely have some type of experience, like connection. I do believe that from talking to you and getting to know you the last couple of months. I know I haven't known you long, but I've had my own strange experiences here. So, and they still keep happening. So, and like I said, a good half a dozen that I can concretely say that's not. Yeah, there's got to be. I think it's Sasquatch. I do. I personally think you got a very valid point there, Mike. I think that's exactly what this is.
And the landlord too basically told you when you come here
Yes,
that
he's had a couple of experiences with wood knocks and some whoops he said he heard and some whistles, and that intrigued me more because, like I said to you, I go up Serpent River area, and every year. And the last 2 years I've been up there, I've heard two really strange experiences. The last experience was enough that it stood every hair on my body up, and I ran in the house. Like, I went back in the house scared to come out for at least an hour till daylight hit. And when I come back out, the roars were still going on, but it stopped within like a couple of minutes. But it was a good 5 minutes for sure. I stood there having a cigarette before I realized, what the F is that? Like, that's not, is that a bear wounded? That's not it sounded like a lion's roar.
And
That's what kind of a roar I heard.
Yeah,
right?
I basically played you that one file I have of the roars I recorded,
Yeah,
right?
and you have the one of the jackally wolf sounding thing. I heard that the year before up there. So honest to God, as I say here, I'm telling you the truth there, right? And that was an odd experience because it was fighting with a dog. And the dog wasn't winning. You could hear what I'm saying when an animal's dying, right? Like, and whatever it was sounded just like that sound, but constant, like a hyena, jackal. And when I told the people that I was staying with in their native descent, they said they've heard the same type of things up there as well late at nights and had some strange experiences. And same with the roar. As soon as I told my girl about it, she ran inside and started talking to the elders, and her chin dropped when I told her what I heard. Hey, and because I have a video I found on the YouTube that sounded identical to the roar that I heard, and that's what it was about. It was about a Sasquatch. And when I played it for her, I said, that's what I heard. She ran in the house and right away spoke to the elders. So that told me something, right? That maybe
she was here last night too, and I pulled out some of my casts.
Yes, yeah, she was surprised. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no.
From my experience, I think because your interest, your attentiveness towards what's going on, that this young fella, I'm quite sure.
I think he's playing with me.
He's letting you know he's there.
Honestly,
Running past the window, the different sounds, walking up the driveway, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all to basically, hey man, I'm here.
I think you're right, 100%. I think you're right, buddy. Like I know I've heard things walking up and down, like prowling up and down there, right? It's not an animal. He's not an animal that we know. You know what I mean? It's on 2 feet, whatever it is that's running around here. It's very strange for me. So don't mind my, the way my composure is right now.
No, it's all good.
But yes, it's honest, right? There's something to what you're talking about. Like they're here. They're 100% here.
I'm glad you're getting to witness
me
that,
too, because I am of native descent myself, and I've always had an interest ever since I was a young man anyway, but I've never really had any experiences up until about 2 years ago, like I said to you. So, but yes, the things that are going on here are very strange to me.
Yeah, Fred had mentioned his girlfriend wants to basically move to Alaska because to experience Sasquatch activity, and I telling her last night, you don't have to, they're right here.
I've told her as well. Right?
They're all over the place.
I told her that last year when I heard the roar. I said, I don't think you have to go anywhere. I said, I think if you go up in them valleys, you'll find what you're looking for. I told her. She goes, you think so? I said,
yeah, they're through.
I'm pretty sure that's what I was listening to. So
they're around these parts.
I've been in the bush.
Woods here, right?
I'm an East Coast boy. I've been in the bush. Right? I've been hunting. I don't know animals like I'm no hunter, but like I know enough that what I heard wasn't a bear. Right? Wasn't a wolf, like you can, or a coyote or anything like that. You can count those things out 100%. Whatever that wasn't anything I've ever heard before.
Well, I'll put it out there. I hope you get to experience some vocals here. I want to experience some vocals here.
Yeah.
I've had a vocalization come out of the kitchen one night when I was sitting in the living room, and there's that coyote type vocal I recorded behind the house, which I think is them.
I think so.
Yeah.
Because that's what I heard the year before up there. Like I said, it was constant though.
and I was shown by Neff's family that they make those sounds, right? So, and that was really odd to happen right there, just one, you know, it's
Honest, yeah.
and then the landlord, he's heard vocals here. There was another, his ex there had mentioned about hearing a wolf howl basically right here in the backyard
Yeah.
one night, which again I think is them, right? And,
I think so.
And the footprints he found in the garden.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, you do hear a lot of big branch breaks back here, like big branch breaks. We're not talking, you know, we're talking a branch like that kind of size branch. We're not talking twigs, right? Like something walking. It sounds like something's grabbing the tree and going snap. You know what I mean? Like I heard that a couple mornings early when I was out here, around 4 or 5 o'clock. It was even like, you know, daybreak was starting to kind of come. It was light, but not daylight yet.
Was it quiet? Was it windy? Was it?
It was quiet.
Yeah.
Right, and I only heard it one time. Like, you know, each time I heard it, it was only once. But that's a branch. That's not a right.
It's funny. There's a tree back there, you know, diameter like that. That was kind of twisted and pushed over, and it looked like a good tree. You know, it was alive, right?
Yeah.
And 50 feet or so from my audio recorder, and now there's another tree laying across that one, which is
Kind
odd.
of strange. Yeah, that is strange.
So.
Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I know the activity follows me basically.
All I know is I've had some really weird experiences here, and I think you're correct. It's Sasquatch because, like I said, the running by the window, the creeping around, the prowling around. I'm hearing like that's not somebody walking around here robbing people. The neighborhood would know by now. Like, you know what I mean, right? So
yeah, it's,
you know, I've tried to rationalize it, but I have no other choice but to say it's got to be. It has to be, right? It has to be. Because there's no other explanation for it, right?
Yeah. It's cool, man.
And like I say, I'm not a person that just jumps into these things, so that's why I wanted to come on and like, verify, like, you're not kidding. There's things going on around here. Like I said, my roommates heard it, the owner of the house has heard it, I've heard it. So there's definitely validity to what you're saying, buddy. There's something falling. I'm pretty sure it's Sasquatch.
I get people that say, "Oh, it only seems that I get activity when I go to Dwayne's cottage." It's not true at all. I've had activity in numerous locations over the years, and as I mentioned, it's followed me. I've moved 4 times over a 10-year period. I've been here over 5 years now, but it's something that once you connect to them, it follows you. You know, wouldn't doubt if we're being listened to and watched right now.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly.
But you know, it's makes things definitely more interesting. So, anyways, I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
No worries. You're welcome, buddy.
Right on.
Anytime. No problem.
Appreciate you coming on and sharing that. And
yeah, like I say, it's happened too many times not to speak up right about it and say something now, right? I've even told the owner of the house, and that's what he keeps saying to me. I told you, Freddie, they're here. So, I mean,
like I said, I appreciate you coming on camera too. And
yeah, it's no problem, buddy. No
good.
problem at all. Yeah.
All right, so I just wanted to get Fred on there and share his experiences since he's moved in here a couple months ago. You know, there's been quite a few incidents, and I don't see that stopping anytime soon. So, you know, thanks again. And
yeah,
all right,
welcome.
okay, we'll see you guys later.
Go! Yeah. Go.